One East El Paso man says he found one of his dogs dead in the backyard of his home last week, and now the search for answers is continuing. Now, just a warning, some of the details and images in the story may be disturbing to some viewers. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo spoke with the owner and has this report.
Emma was really joyful. She had this tendency of liking to scratch her belly.
Fernando Magallanes and his wife had Emma since she was just a puppy back in 2020. Over the years, she has been a big part of the family. But last Tuesday, she took her last breath. Magallanes says when he got home to his lunch break, she was already gone.
But as soon as I got close, you see the blood coming from the hip all the way to the floor and doing a small pool of blood. So that's a shot. That's what I thought, that someone shot my dog.
Magallanes says that he called police and filed a report. After further looking into what happened, he believes Emma was likely hit with a pellet gun. He also says that there were no cameras in the backyard that captured what happened. Now, Emma's dried blood stains left behind are serving as a reminder of her final moments and possibly giving an idea of where she may have been hit. Now, beyond losing Emma, he is now worried about safety. He says this East Side neighborhood sits near several schools and is home to many families and older residents, making the situation even more concerning.
It is a safety concern because I have babies, and what if one of my babies was outside in the yard, or what if the bullet goes through my window, because it was like right on my entry door.
So that was Diana Castillo reporting. The family tells us that they do plan to add cameras following the incident. I know the area that they're talking about, and there are always a lot of kids because there are schools in the area. I think the thing that's most frightening to me is that somebody had to lean over a fence. To get to that
Yeah,
cut.
definitely premeditated.
Yeah.
Somebody had to go and seek this out
Yeah.
because all the fences in that area are not fences, they're just rock walls.
Right.
Yeah, they're pretty tall, though.
And they are tall. They're
Like-
usually about 8 feet tall.
So it would be probably the gate that they leaned over.
Yeah.
You would
And-
think.
That looked a little more accessible than the walls did.
But I mean, even still, you still have to hang off a gate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's still
Right.
probably a 6-foot tall gate.
And who knows if we'll ever find the person
Yeah.
who did this, because they're still searching for footage
Yeah.
of anybody in the area that might have done it. And then even if you did find footage, if it's a pellet gun, you can kind of hide it.
And you know,
If
and,
it's a little one.
and here's the other thing: this happened pretty much in broad daylight.
Yeah.
It didn't happen before
In
he
the middle
went
of the
to
day.
work. He got home in the middle of the day to go eat some lunch. And so during the day,
Yeah.
you have something like this happening. This is really scary.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, it's a shame that it happened literally in his own house.
Yeah.
You know, like at a place where he probably thought all his pets were going to be safe. And here we are.
Like you said, he's got kids. The kids could have been in the backyard.
Kids could have been in the backyard as
know?
well. I don't know. It's a real shame that something like this happens in El Paso, but yet here we are talking about it again. Just not really that great. Hopefully we can get some answers for this gentleman, and maybe somebody will come forward with camera footage, and we can help pass that along to the authorities or something, because we like to help. It's just
And
it's a shame.
I think pellet guns are not they don't look like a revolver or something.
Yeah, they're not supposed to,
They're
right?
like rifles, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're more like a rifle.
I know there's certain pellet guns you could buy like at Walmart or something that look more like a kid's toy. You know,
Oh, do they?
they
Oh,
look like a
okay.
little like Wild West, like lever
Like a pump
action.
action,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Something,
Yeah.
but they also
Wow.
but they also
Look at
can
the
look.
variety they
Wow.
come
They
in.
also can look very real. You
Yeah,
know, if
they
they're
can.
if they're BB
Goodness.
guns, they can look very very real. But some you just buy here that look like that one in the middle that look like a lever action.
Yeah.
It depends. And some of them are so small. They're not
Yeah.
like exactly like real gun size.
But still,
so you can just kinda
and
hide 'em in a
again,
jacket?
You're walking around in the daytime.
I know. It's bold.
I
It's
mean,
bold.
oh,